Election Commission should clarify Undi 18 implementation issue. Malaysians working in Singapore among recipients under Phase 2 of immunisation program. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. The Election Commission, or EC, has been urged to clarify on the latest developments regarding Undi 18 implementation to enable the public to get the correct and clear information on the issue. Youth and Sports or KBS Minister Datuk Sri Rizal American 9 American said as an independent entity, the EC should explain the situation because the policy to lower the voting age to 18 is already at the implementation stage.
SPR kena tampil untuk membuat penjelasan, roadmap, perjalanan, perancangan bagaimana ia nak dilaksanakan. Ini soal peringkat pelaksanaan. Peringkat penggubalan sudah selesai. Kita telah meminda perlembagaan bagi membolehkan perkara ini berlaku. Tetapi prosesnya panjang. Perlukan pindaan-pindaan lain, perlukan pindaan-pindaan penyelarasan pindaan undang-undang pertubuhan kerajaan negeri ke. So SPR kena tampil dan penjelaskan.
Datuk Sri Rizal American said KBS cannot take the lead in confronting the issue as it is the EC's role to explain the direction of Undi 18, including voter registration, voting rights and standing as parliamentary candidate at that age. He said the Undi 18 issue should be defended and must become a reality because 211 MPs had put aside their political ideology to support the cause, which led to its approval at the Dewan Rakyat and Dewan Negara levels. The minister was commenting on media reports claiming that the country is still not ready to allow 18-year-olds to vote, although the Dewan Rakyat has passed the Constitution Amendment Bill 2019. In a related development, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin Hassan, has clarified that the decision on the permission of Malaysians aged 18 years old to vote in the upcoming general elections will depend on the Election Commission, or EC. Now, according to the Minister, there has been no further information received from the EC regarding the matter.
Pengundi 18 tahun adalah urusan SPR, Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya. Jadi Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya saya yakin akan membuat pengumuman mereka lah. Sejauh mana mereka dah mengambil tindakan berhubung dengan pindaan perlembagaan itu. Ataupun kalau ada apa-apa halangan ke perancangan, SPR akan keluar, bukan kerajaan. SPR ni adalah badan bebas ya.
Speaking to reporters at an event in Alustar Kedah, he said the implementation of Undi 18 and the automatic registration was supposed to come into effect this July, but could not proceed even though the Dewan Rakyat has approved of the Constitution Amendment Bill 2019. Meanwhile, the Committee for Ending the Emergency Declaration, formed by the opposition party, has no legal power to end its implementation. Now, Datuk Sri Taqiyuddin reiterated that only the Independent Special Committee on Emergency 2021, set up under the Emergency Essential Powers Ordinance 2021, has the power, in accordance with legal provisions, to advise the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah whether the emergency state can be lifted earlier or on the stipulated date of 1st of August or extended.
Ada darurat ni nak ditamatkan lebih awal daripada 1 bulan 8 ataupun nak ditamatkan exactly on 1st August ataupun nak disambung, jawatankuasa ni ada autoriti. Jadi mana-mana ahli parlimen pemagang misalnya, gunakanlah wakil mereka ni. Mereka ada wakil daripada PKR, daripada DAP, daripada Amanah. Jadi gunakanlah wakil ni. Kerajaan bagi peluang menunjukkan kerajaan ni transparent. Ahli parlimen kerajaan ada, ahli parlimen pembangkang ada. Jadi bagilah, gunalah saluran ini untuk beri pandangan dan sebagainya. Jangan mengelirukan.
Datuk Seri Taqiyuddin commented on the matter when asked about the formation of the independent body known as the Committee for Ending the Emergency Declaration, chaired by Shah Alam MP Khalil Abu Samad, who launched a petition to apply for the emergency to be ended immediately. Malaysia today recorded 1,354 new COVID-19 cases, a slight drop from yesterday's 1,470 and 4 deaths. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said that over the same 24-hour period as of noon today, 1,782 recovered, bringing the cumulative figure for recoveries to 306,274, while the death toll stands at 1,210. Commenting further on the matter in a statement posted on his official Twitter account, he said of the new cases today, 1,340 are local transmissions involving 1,042 Malaysians and 298 foreigners, while 14 are imported cases. Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham said Selangor continued to top new cases with 577, followed by Sarawak 178 cases and Pulau Pinang 154. He said 158 cases are under intensive care, with 71 requiring ventilator support. He also said the latest fatalities all involved Malaysian men aged between 27 and 87 who had chronic diseases. 3 new clusters were also detected in a 24-hour period, 2 at workplaces and 1 in the community. The Health DG noted that there are now 424 active clusters, with 64 recording new cases today. He added that the number of clusters which have ended is 813, including 5 today. A total of 292,104 individuals have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine since the National COVID-19 Immunisation Program was implemented 19 days ago. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said Selangor recorded the highest number with 35,620 individuals, followed by Perak, 31,675, and Sarawak, 30,634. Elaborating further through his official Twitter account, Datuk Sri Dr. Adham said this is followed by Kuala Lumpur, 28,244, Pahang, 25,128, Sabah, 24,042, and Johor, 21,835, as stated in an infographic shared on his Twitter today. Implementation of the National Immunisation Program is carried out in 3 phases, with the first phase from February to April this year for 500,000 frontliners. Phase 2 from April to August is for senior citizens aged 65 and above, high-risk groups and people with disabilities involving 9.4 million people, while Phase 3 is from May 2021 to February 2022 for those aged 18 and above, covering about 14 million people. About 100,000 Malaysians working in Singapore are expected to be among the recipients of the COVID-19 vaccine under Phase 2 of the National COVID-19 Immunisation Program. Now, Johor Menteri Besar Dato' Engineer Hasni Mohamad said the matter had been agreed by the Science, Technology and Innovation Ministry or MOSTI and would be implemented in stages.
Jadi saya menganggarkan antara lebih kurang 400,000 yang kalau kita tengok rekod-rekod sebelum ini, jumlah rakyat kita yang bekerja dan berulang-alik ini adalah lebih kurang 400,000. Jadi masuk fasa kedua ni, mereka adalah layak untuk mendapatkan vaksin tersebut. Bukan hanya golongan rentan, bukan hanya mereka yang komorbid, bukan hanya mereka yang berusia 80 tahun ke atas, tetapi juga satu jumlah diperuntukkan bagi mereka yang perlu berulang-alik ke Singapura.
Elaborating further, Dato' Engineer Rasmi hoped that the move will restore and stimulate the state's economy, including the service, manufacturing and education sectors once the border is reopened. He further noted that a registration system for the purpose is currently being developed by MOSTI. The Johor Menteri Besar also advised the people in the state to register for the vaccine in an effort to curb the spread of COVID-19. The Enhanced Movement Control Order, or EMCO, in the Sri Jelutong quarters in Mukim Bebar Pekan Pahang concludes today, a day ahead of schedule. Now, Senior Minister for Security, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, in a statement said the decision was made following risk assessment by various agencies in the Movement Control Order, or MCO, Technical Committee. To date, the Health Ministry has conducted 80 tests in the locality, 4 of which have been confirmed positive for COVID-19. MOH also confirmed that all 76 samples in the second batch of screenings returned negative, and there were no more tests still awaiting results. Meanwhile, Kampung Lingkudau in Keningau, Sabah will be placed under EMCO starting tomorrow until the 28th of March. As of 12th of March, MOH has identified 19 out of 102 individuals screened to be positive for COVID-19 in the locality. The implementation of the EMCO in the area is intended to facilitate MOH to conduct targeted screenings on all residents, as well as restricting their movements to control the amount of infections within the community. Johor Police Contingent has issued 1.13 million ringgit in compounds to 109 customers at an entertainment centre for violating the Standard Operating Procedures, or SOPs, of the Movement Control Order, MCO, in a raid in Muar on the 11th of March. Its Police Chief, Dato' Ayub Khan Madin Piche, said the compounds were issued to 81 men and 28 women, all locals, aged between 17 and 52. Dato' Ayub Khan said all of them were compounded 10,000 ringgit each for not practicing physical distancing while at the premises.
Kesalahan tuan-tuan yang melibatkan pusat hiburan ini serius. Pusat hiburan ini dah kali ketiga yang kita dah serbu. Tuan-tuan bayangkan betapa keras kepalanya. Ini kita tidak akan tolak ansur lah. Tolak ansur ini pusat hiburan yang tidak boleh beroperasi, yang tak ada lesen. 3 kali diserbu. Masih lagi ada aktiviti.
The police also arrested a 52-year-old man who claimed to be the manager of the entertainment centre, and he was later fined 50,000 ringgit for violating the SOPs set during the conditional MCO. Dato' Ayub Khan said checks also found that the premises had been raided twice previously, namely on the 26th of February and 10th of March, and compounds were also issued. However, the business continued to operate without an entertainment license. Coming up, diverse digital activities to close digital gap in community. The Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, or KKMM, encourages community internet centres, PIK, to diversify digital activities to close the digital gap among members of community. Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said the concept must be focused, especially in the rural areas.
We want to develop a model Balaraya Community Digital. Tempat dia pusat internet community. Services dia, MDEC ada berpuluh-puluh program e-dagang, kemudian kita ada program kesihatan, kita ada program pendidikan, kemudian kita and Futures pun ada program e-sports. Dah ada dah pun.
Datuk Saifuddin was speaking after officiating the SAHIH application, which enables the public to seek medical advice or schedule follow-up consultations online in Kampung Cerating PIK in Kuantan, Pahang. On the program, the minister said Kampung Cerating PIK was selected to implement the pilot project before it was extended to other PIK in stages. He said the SAHIH app was an initiative to inculcate the use of technology in society, especially in rural areas or the interior through PIK, adding that the app was a contribution from industry players and telecommunication companies in efforts to open up more opportunities and demands for the e-medical system, which are still lacking. Datuk Saifuddin, who is also Indra Makota Member of Parliament, said for now, the SAHIH application only involved the Kuala Lumpur Hospital and the Sungai Buloh Hospital in Selangor, adding that he was confident that the number of hospitals would increase when more people use the application. The recovery levels of the country's 5 main economic sectors are steadily improving after all economic sectors have been allowed to resume operations. Now, despite the process not showing stellar improvements, it is still an indicator that the economic progression went smoothly. According to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Economy, Datuk Sri Mustafa Mohamad, only a few economic sectors, specifically the tourism and mining sectors, are still impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Semua sektor sudah pun dibuka dan angka-angka ekspor pun meningkat, permintaan luar pun permintaan luar negara pelancong ni luar negara hampir tak ada kosong lah. Tapi bagi pembuatan terus pelabuhan kita sibuk dengan ekspor pun Januari pun meningkat, jadi satu pembuatan dah boleh, yang lain-lain tu pelan-pelan.
The government has approved a total of 7.5 million ringgit for the Water and Environment Ministry to carry out river conservation works in Terengganu. Now, this will involve 103 river rehabilitation works, which will reduce the risk of flooding in all districts in Terengganu. According to Water and Environment Minister Datuk Sri Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man, from the allocation, a total of 4.8 million ringgit work packages would be carried out by ballot, involving work under 100,000 ringgit for G1 class contractors, while the remaining allocation would be spent in the second phase. He further explained that the implementation of job procurements via balloting expedited the work process, besides assisting G1 class Bumiputera contractors in regenerating the economy affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Bagi pihak Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air akan terus bertindak tegas dalam perkara-perkara yang supaya bagi kita minimalkan kerja-kerja yang terganggu, terbengkalai dan sebagainya. Dan jawatankuasa atau agensi JPS akan memantau semua projek-projek yang telah pun kita laksanakan, kita cabut undi pada hari ini.
Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Tuan Ibrahim said water levels at all dams nationwide are still at a comfortable level. Now, the minister said despite the country facing hot and dry spell, the water levels at all the dams are sufficient to meet the needs of the people.
Pada tahun ini, Met Malaysia melaporkan keadaan kepanasan kita lebih rendah berbanding tahun lepas. Kadar kelembapan agak tinggi. Cuma kita memantau sekarang, kita dah mula aktifkan tentang majlis atau tindakan jurubu kebangsaan yang akan mesyuarat insyaAllah pada minggu depan. Dan keadaan air di dam kita alhamdulillah sebenarnya masih lagi berada pada paras yang selesa lah. Cuma isu-isu yang berlaku macam contoh yang dibangkitkan ialah di Balim baru-baru ini, isu tu telah pun diatasi oleh kerajaan negeri. Ada tempat-tempat yang kita akui ada masalah yang kerajaan negeri ambil tindakan lah melalui operator air negeri untuk menghantar air melalui lori-lori dan sebagainya.
About 430 kilograms of ketum leaves worth 43,000 ringgit were seized in 2 raids conducted in Kuala Perlis. Now, during the operation, a 15-year-old teenager was detained. The raids were conducted by Region 1 of the Marine Police Force, or PPM, who collaborated with the Malaysian Border Security Agency, AXIM, as well as Kanga police personnel. According to Region 1 Commanding Officer, Deputy Superintendent Rohizan Muhammad Said, the first raid was conducted at 6:30 a.m. in Kampung Tengah, where 30 black packages containing ketum leaves were found, while the second raid conducted at a house in Simpang Empat found 130 kilograms of ketum leaves. A teenager who claimed to be an inhabitant of the house was arrested to assist in the investigation. The teenager and the seized goods were brought to Kuala Perlis Police Headquarters for further action, and the case is being investigated under Section 30, Subsection 3 of the Poisons Act 1952. And we kick off with local football. UiTM FC were taught a lesson in football by Johor Darul Takzim JDT as the 7-time Super League champions notched a 4-0 win over the university team at the UiTM Stadium in Shah Alam last night. However, Selangor and Kuala Lumpur City FC only obtained 1 point each after they ended in a 1-1 stalemate at the Petaling Jaya City Council Stadium in Selangor. At the UiTM Stadium, JDT's Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanapi opened the scoring when he completed a slick move in the 10th minute. 5 minutes later, Gonzalo Gabriel Cabrera doubled the Southern Tigers' lead with a curling shot from outside the box. Coach Benjamin Mora's men piled on more misery on UiTM FC when Brazilian Bergson da Silva fired a left-footer from outside the box to make it 3-0 before Muhammad Shamir Kuti Abba wrapped up the proceedings with the 4th goal in the 2nd minute of added time. JDT's 3rd straight win sees them top the 12-team standings with a maximum of 9 points. Over at the Petaling Jaya City Council Stadium, the Klang Valley Derby saw no winners as KL City held Selangor 1-1. KL City FC drew first blood when Dominic Da Silva beat the Selangor FC offside trap to score in the 81st minute. A famous victory was cruelly prized from their grasp through an own goal in the 90th minute when KL City's FC Giancarlo Gallifuoco headed in a corner by new Selangor FC import Oliver Buff into his own net. And that's it from us. In our top story, Election Commission should clarify Undi 18 implementation issue. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM.